Kitty Taylor's with Warrendale Sales. They consigned Thunder Moccasin to the 2009 sale here at Keeneland. First, let's just talk about his win in the Hutcheson. Grade 2 win off a maiden victory and did it with authority. What were you thinking when you were watching that race?
Well, it was pretty impressive. It was exciting. It's nice to see a graduate go on and do so well, especially a young horse that has only had 2 starts.
What do you remember about Thunder Moccasin in the days when you were preparing him for sale as a weanling?
Well, he was actually at the farm. I would go see him a couple of times. We sold the mare as well directly after he sold. She was the next tip number in the ring after him. He had a great walk, very well balanced, looked a lot like his sire, who is a son of A.P. Indy, who I used to call the poor man's Bernardini. He was a beautiful horse, A.P. Warrior. You
mentioned the walk of Thunder Moccasin. I saw you quoted in a Blood Horse story that he had a great walk. What was it that stood out beyond what the way a normal horse would move?
Well, it's the kind of thing that attracts people to a horse. He's got a balance to him and a good overstride to him, followed through with used his shoulders, and was just very correct.
And you said that even though at that time the sire wasn't generating a lot of buzz, that there was a lot of buzz about this horse.
Correct. I mean, he sold for $35,000. Obviously, would like to have sold for more than that at that point, but he was a second crop horse, and the yearlings had already sold in September. So people typically kind of wait. They know they're going to be, if they're pinhooking him, which generally was the market that we were targeting him toward. You don't have a lot of end users shopping at that sale. In 2009, you see more of that now. But he was a horse that just stood out and attracted enough of those people.
He obviously had some of the innate characteristics that attracted interest. What else do you try to do in preparing a horse for a sale to help them be able to further accentuate those positives?
Well, for weanlings, it's less intensive than it is for yearlings. Yearlings go under a much more rigorous getting ready period than a weanling. A weanling is basically just taught to walk with a bit in his mouth, and they aren't shod. It's much more low-key than when you do your yearling presentation.
Do you see much of a horse's personality at that stage? Does it change much from the weanling stage to the yearling stage?
It doesn't change a whole lot, to be honest with you, just because their personalities are almost like young children. So some handle stress better than others. Some, may lose it and stop eating or have other issues that would make it more difficult to show them. But he handled it well.
I was going to say, anything that stood out about him beyond the physical traits?
Well, he was kind of a bay horse with a solid bay. I don't believe he has any white on him, as I can remember. But that didn't always act to his best benefit because he was just a bay colt that would come out and stand there. And people typically, when they're shopping those horses, they have in the back of their mind, this horse will have 2-year-olds next year when I go to sell this colt.
Be they human or equine athletes have a presence. The best ones have kind of a presence about them. Do you see that really in the early stages of a horse, or is it more when they're getting closer to racing?
I think you can see it. I mean, I think if you look back at a good horse, you can kind of remember things about them that, whether they were quiet, whether they absorbed and handled stress at a sale well, because that's going to indicate whether they're intelligent or not and enough to handle stress when they get into the racetrack.
Tell us about Warrendale Sales and what you guys do.
Well, we are a consignor of yearlings. We do all the yearling markets, and we also do mares and weanlings, obviously. And we don't do 2-year-olds. We're located here in Lexington. We've been in business a little over 10 years, and we were a top 10 consignor last year, which we're proud of. Don't have a farm. Basically, we offer, our expertise in consulting. We come out and look at your yearlings, look at your mares, look at your weanlings, and talk about where to target them and send them.
Well, congratulations on the success with Thunder Moccasin.
Well, thank you so much.